Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. If you've been a part of the Steps and Stages community for a long time, then you may know that we've done these in the past, but we're going to recommit. That's something that we do in our community is that when things get a little out of hand or we are overflowing with possibilities and opportunities, we just decide to recommit. And so we are recommitting as a community, as a company, to re-engaging in Wisdom Wednesdays. So here's how this works. We're not going to be here long tonight. This is just going to be a chance for us to teach a couple tools in transformation, think with you about the concepts that we think about in Steps and Stages for our own growth. And then if we can have time to answer any questions, you can drop those in the comments. So listen, for those of you who are new to this, my name is Crystal, and I am known as Coach Crystal in the Steps and Stages community. And I get the opportunity to be in the midst of transformation with individuals, communities, groups, and organizations. And to welcome you into our community, I want to start with our company mantra, which is a lot of things happen before this, and I guarantee a lot of things are going to happen after this. But I promise to be here with you now. Please be here with me now. Tonight, I want to jump right in and talk to you about something that really struck me when I became a coach. And it's a quote from a woman named Mary Morrissey. And she says that the content of our life is the curriculum for our evolution. And right now, in this day and time, in this very moment, there is some content that is very resonant to me in my upbringing or in my development as a young woman that is a part of my evolution. And I think it's poignant to have this conversation with you tonight because, as what we see happening in the political realm, and we just celebrated Mother's Day, I want to be super honest with you and transparent, which is what we do in our community. Because although I'm not the coach who likes to lead with the stories of my pain, I do want to be clear that my evolution and my transformation have not always been the smoothest and easiest, right? And so I want to just be clear that tonight is a personal synopsis. This is not political. My mother was a politician for 23 years. I don't get into politics. I only talk about personal organizational development as I see it, right? I'm a vision coach. So tonight, I want to be super transparent with you about the content of your life as it relates to the curriculum for your evolution. Now, I just got a ton of text messages on Sunday, tons of endorsements for Mother's Day. People talking about me as a parent. I was just on a podcast about it when I was early in my parenting career, is what I like to call it. It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. I was also featured in a magazine about mothering. And I want to just be clear that the energy that you see me put into my mothering is indeed a choice. And it's a choice that when I was 19, I was afraid to make and didn't make because I didn't have the right amount of resources. I didn't have any support. And it wasn't the pathway that I saw my life taking, right? And so there was a time in my life that I had to make a choice. And a lot of times when we're thinking about our evolution, we choose things that we understand in the moment. But managing the power of choice is essential to our human development. So when I was 19, I chose to not become a mother. When I was 32 and became a mother, it was very important to me to be great at the job I was given and to understand that it was not easy for everyone to take on this role and that everyone wasn't given that permission to carry a child, right? And so when I think about the content of my life as the curriculum for my evolution, and I think about my past choices, and I think about my current life, I'm often understanding that two truths can be simultaneously happening, right? And so while sometimes our small awareness in the moment of life that we're in can keep us from seeing the bigger picture, for me as a coach, especially as a vision coach, thinking about the content of my life as the curriculum for my evolution has become essential in not only how I deal with and detangle my own fears, my own shame, my own understandings or upper limits about myself and what I'm capable of. It's actually become a part of what I'm able to offer in transparency to my clients. And tonight, I want to just really think with you about maybe something or that might not be as public as what we're seeing on the news and in the media these days. But what is something or a choice that you've made that you've had to make that it was essential to your development as a human being or as the thing that you have become, right? Choices have risk inherently. And so when we make choices, when we're deciding on something, when we're cutting away one option and deciding on another, we have to be super clear of what we're risking. And so I just want to be totally honest with you, right? Like, we are a community that sometimes is so transparent that we risk the idea of being shamed or unliked, all of the things that come with making decisions and making choices. And so when we're making these decisions and choices, or when you are in your own life, you got to manage the risk, right? Like, what's going to happen if you tell your truth? What's going to happen if you understand that the job you're doing, the environment you're in, the friendship circle, the marriage, the relationship, the geography is not actually feeding the vision or the person you know you're meant to be? Being able to step outside that and take a really clear look and make a choice that is for the bigger you, for the next level you, right? Because many of you know I've had several careers, and they've been pretty successful. But, you know, I often imagine, what would have happened if I had made a different choice when I was 19? Would this still be the life that I was living? Would this still be the capacity of giving that I would have for my son today? Would I still be, or would I have been as invested of a parent? Would I have known enough about the world to take on the responsibilities of another human being and his development, right? Would I have been compassionate enough? Would I have failed enough on my own to not take his failures personally? Right. And so when we think about this, about the content of your life really being the curriculum for your evolution, every choice you've ever made has led you to this particular moment. Now, you can waste a lot of time thinking about, well, was it a good choice? Was it a bad choice? Did I make it well? Did I not make it well? But the only power you have is right now. In this community, we believe that the past is regret, the future is anxiety, and the power is in the present moment. So today, I want you to just take a look at the things that you've gone through, the things you've been through, the things you've survived, the things you've overcome, the conversations that have been hard, but you made it, right? And the choices you've made, whether they had risk or not. And think about how that management of choice has been essential to your human development, right? We make choices every day. We make choices to answer the phone. We make choices to say hello. We make choices about people we let in our lives. And each of those choices has actually been recorded by your body, by your mind, by, things that people equate with making good or bad or hard choices. And that thing is sometimes shame. But I really don't want you to have any shame about any of the choices you make, because the shame only keeps you stuck. And part of me even sharing this with you tonight is about really having the power to own the choices you've made and not feel shamed by anyone or anything, no matter what it is, right? So to be totally honest and be what I love to call self-possessed, we have to look in all the little dark corridors of our lives and make sure that we shine the light of our vision so clearly that we fall back in love with who we are, no matter what we've done or what we've had to come through. Right? Your growth is essential to who you see yourself becoming, not who you've been. Right? Who you've been is important because it's giving you the understanding to get where you are. And now it's going to tell you that you're going to have to push a little harder, or maybe change some thinking, or maybe make some new decisions, or take some bigger risks to get to that next stage of your development. And that's really what these Wisdom Wednesdays are going to be about. What is the next step that's going to get you to the next stage of your life? And if that means that we just have to do a little reflection on our past and see what those small places that we haven't shined light on are doing to keep us stuck. What are those dark little corridors of our hearts, of our minds doing or saying to us when we're not even conscious of those negative voices? How are the limiting beliefs of what we've internalized about ourselves, maybe through the lens of our own perception, but probably mostly through the lens of other people? How are we going to synthesize those voices into one voice that speaks the truth for us, by us, through us, and as us? Totally self-possessed, with no shame, all truth, and being so bold in making the choices that we need to for our own development. So, yes, choices have risk, but managing the power of choice is the essence of the human experience, and it develops us over and over again into the evolution of our lives. So, by using the content of our lives, we develop the curriculum for our evolution. And as we do that, we not only evolve for ourselves, we create, sustain, and build other frameworks in our own lives for the people close to us and those who may come in contact with us for a vision of a life that is bigger, bolder, and more authentic. So, tonight, as we close Wisdom Wednesdays, I just want you to think about something in your life that may have been a hurdle that we can transform into a ladder, right? Because in order to get over something, there's probably a way you can shift it and just step on top of it and get to the next level. So, tonight is about reflection. Your wisdom is about turning the content of your life into the curriculum for your evolution and living your life free of shame. Thanks for joining us, y'all. If you like this, if it was resonating with you, share it with someone you love. If you know someone who needs a little bit of encouragement to think about some of their own past choices and to get over the hump of shame or take the risk of growing into their full self, let them know about it. And if you're ready to take the next step, jump over to stepwithcrystal.com and we'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing evening.